Welcome to the National Memorial of Military Ascent Fundraiser. Thank you, thank you. My name is Colonel Retired Michael Morrow, and I am the mayor of Grafton, Illinois, and the president of the National Memorial of Military Ascent. Thank you all for coming out this evening on Veterans Day to honor our veterans and support our project that we have going on in Grafton. I want to give a very special thank you to the Cafe Napoli for hosting this event and working with 8-time Emmy Award winner Food is Love Master Chef Lasse Sorensen for preparing this gourmet meal tonight. Thank you, thank you. We are honored this evening to have with us 2 World War II veterans right here in front by my table. The first one is Sergeant Ken Luttrell, and the second one is Corporal Tom Lacey. Ken is 100 years young. Tom is catching up. He's 99 years young. Both of these soldiers served our country in World War II as radio men in combat. So thank you both for our service. Thank you for serving our country and for our freedom. Let's give them a big round of applause. I am honored to serve as the mayor of Grafton, Illinois, where 17% of the population of Grafton are veterans. That is the largest per capita in the state of Illinois. Tonight, we want to highlight 2 of our own hometown veterans that have been working nonstop to make this memorial a reality. The first veteran, Sergeant Richard Flowers, Vietnam veteran, National Memorial of Military Ascent Commissioner, and past commander of Post 648 American Legion in Grafton. Richard is no longer able to answer the call of duty. He passed away this last year after succumbing to cancer. His last words to me when he came into my office was, "I support this project with my whole heart, and I know you will make this happen." Some gave a little, some gave all, and Richard gave all. I also want to tell you that tonight his widow, Lula, is here at the front door where she greeted you this evening. Would you raise your hand? And let's give her a big applause. She has been carrying on the tradition for Richard, helping out every way that she can. We thank you very much. God bless you. The second veteran is Mr. Dan Bechtold, a Vietnam veteran and NMMA board member. And I'm going to let Dan tell you his story in his own words. Roll the tape.
I got a little shaking going on there. I still say it's from Agent Orange, but the VA hasn't agreed to that yet. I was in the military. I got drafted in 1970. They had the lottery system for the draft. And I remember coming home. I was out 19, drinking wine, or drinking beer, chasing women, all that kind of stuff. And I come home and my mom goes, "Hey, they had that lottery system today." I said, "Mom, how'd I do?" And she goes, "I don't think you did too good." I said, "What's my number?" She said 11. So I knew where I was going. When most of us got our draft notice, we didn't question it. It was our duty. And I would have never dreamed of not going because of my uncles and my dad. You know, they all bucked up and say, "Hey, this is what we got to do." And that's just the way it was. And I was up in the mountains in the Central Highlands for 5 months. We had an asphalt plant, and we were building a road through Goodview Mountain. And I got transferred down to the 1st Cav down in Benoit. Now, the 1st Cav, they were still looking for trouble. We weren't. So anyway, I got down there, and That captain lines us up and he goes, anybody here drive a semi? I looked back and forth and I said, I raised my hand. He said, okay. He says, you go with the Sarge down to the motor pool. He'll take care of you. I said, okay. So I got down to the motor pool and the Sarge goes, how long you been driving a semi? Never driven one in my life. He pulls his pistol out, cocks it and goes, I'll to shoot you right now. Right now. I said, Sarge, I grew up on a farm. I back wagons in. I got to drift. He says, we're pulling out at 0400. You better be able to parallel park that thing. And so I'm out there for 8 hours doing this semi thing. And it went real well and I didn't have any problems. I mean, we got sniped a few times. They hit a few mines, but me personally, no, I didn't have any of that. So our convoy did, but I didn't personally. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world. I'm here, I'm sitting. I got everything. I got my fingers, I got my arms, I got my legs, and my head's still on straight to a degree. You have to check that out of my wife. But anyway, I can still talk about it and not go off on a frenzy or whatever. I've been in this town since '98. It's a great little river town. And what you see in Grafton as a nice little community, everybody's bound to make Grafton successful. And when people come to Grafton, they're here to have a good time. Well, so far we've got a lot of people responding, but I think what we've got to do yet, we got all the veterans are behind it, but I think we got to go to the citizens and get them to back it too. We need everybody. You know, even though they weren't there, but they might have had a uncle, a grandfather, whatever. The whole community needs to kick in. And I think it'll happen. It's just down the road yet. And I want it to happen in my lifetime. So, and I think it'll be good for our little town. I think it'll take the young people and they'll know what these people went through. Our generation already knows it, but our second generation from us, they don't know too much about that, you know, so. Don't forget what these people did for us. Don't forget. Whether it be the Normandy beaches or the Vietnam War, the Iraqi War, or Afghan. Don't forget these people. They did this out of their hearts. So, to protect us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bechtold sits right up at this table. He disappeared. Where'd he go, Brenda? Okay, there he is. Dan, come on up here for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bechtold. You want to say anything real quick?
Well, I will. Well, I'm not going to talk a lot, but I will say we are all so blessed, and hopefully our memorial goes through. And thank everyone for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor to introduce to you my co-chair for this campaign, my fellow combat engineer and my friend, Mr. John Simmons. But before I ask John to come up and say a few words, let's watch this next video. Play the video, please.
I'm John from Alton. I usually don't even have to add Illinois in there because Miles Davis is from here, world's tallest man's from here. I mean, there's enough Alton, and if it's somebody in the region, they generally know it's Illinois. So I just go with John from Alton. I started donating money as soon as I started making money because I always felt like that's an obligation to, you know, if I made $1, I had to give some of it to somebody. Jane and I and our whole family have decided to support this National Memorial of Military Ascent in Grafton, Illinois. It's not in our town, but it may as well be. It's in our region. It's right here. You can't get to Grafton without coming through my town. You know what I mean? It's kind of, we're all together in this. I think this memorial in our area will have a great impact. I mean, when you think about other projects like this, they're in DC. You know, I mean, most people aren't going to get to DC to see it. This is something that our region can come and see. The education that you're going to provide our youth is significant, and we cannot let this piece of American history die. I mean, this is just too valuable for us. It's going to honor all branches of the service, and it's going to be amazing. This will be an international destination. I mean, the St. Louis Airport is now doing flights to London and Germany, I believe. I took one in March to Germany, so I know that they do nonstop from St. Louis to Germany. So there'll be more and more folks coming just to see this monument, because frankly, there's not a lot of these things happening. For everyone here tonight on Veterans Day, there's no more meaningful time and no more meaningful project anywhere, probably in the world, going on right now that you could support and help in a meaningful way. Help your children, your grandchildren, my grandchildren. We need to just get this project complete. And I invite you to join me in helping educate future generations of this important American history right here in our region.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I bring John up to the podium, I have a very exciting announcement to make. I am pleased to announce that Jane and John Simmons and the Simmons Hanley Conroy Law Firm have just pledged a donation of $2.5 million to the National Memorial of Military Ascent. John, come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you John Simmons, my friend, a fellow combat engineer. John, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. He told me I only had 40 minutes, so I'm trying to get this to speed up for me, but we'll see. Sergeants, it's a privilege and an honor to meet you tonight, and thank you for the bookmarks. If y'all haven't got a bookmark, if you read it all, you should get one of their bookmarks. There's a lot of history and fascination about their thing. But thank you, Mayor Morrow. This is great. Distinguished guests and fellow citizens, nearly 40 years ago, my sweet wife, who couldn't be here tonight, agreed to marry me, and we got married. And about 2 weeks after I got married, I left for basic training. So, after weeks of basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, I went to Army school to train to become a combat engineer. That MOS is a 12 Bravo, but as with so many things in my life, I'm not a typical combat engineer. As fate would have it, I was selected to become a bridge crewman piece of this combat engineer, and our Telemundo friend, this is where I'm talking about the bridge thing came into it. We were talking earlier, and we were talking about what bridges mean and can do, and I said, "Did you read my speech?" So anyway, I did another 14 weeks or so of training in that, and I just remember how proud I was to join the long line of Army combat engineers, literally paving a way for me. Still cherish that. But anyway, we specialized in building temporary and permanent bridges. And the best part, on occasion, I'm a 19-year-old kid, and on occasion, we got to blow up a bridge. That was something. Oh my goodness, that was cool. But when I got done with my training, I thought I was done with training, and then I was sent to Fort Stewart, Georgia, near Savannah. And I didn't realize that that was about everything I was getting ready to do, was to be in more training and more. It was more education. It was a time of peace for the United States. So we had nothing to do but practice. And so we practiced. I mean, it was crazy. I cannot imagine what you gentlemen went through. But anyway, something my dad told me one time about, he was a combat engineer himself in World War II. And he used to say this about bridges. And he would say, bridges don't just connect two pieces of land. They connect communities, they connect generations, and they even connect possibilities. So tonight, the memory of those words bear particular weight as this national monument is coming to fruition. And so, anyway, when Mike, if I can call you Mike?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. When Mike shared his plans for this memorial with me, it hit me really deep, and I was really moved. And as a combat engineer, I understood the symbolic power of what we're building in Grafton. I also happen to know the architect who I see tonight, Jamie Henderson. Thank you for being here. But, yep, thank you, Jamie. But anyway, I knew firsthand as an engineer that what we're building isn't just about construction. It's about creating a pathway for folks. It's about moving people forward. And this memorial will stand more than just bronze and steel and stone. It will serve as a bridge between our past and our future. It will help our children and grandchildren and generations to come understand just how America, alongside with our allies, confronted and defeated the greatest threat to freedom in the 20th century, that being fascist Germany. Some have asked, maybe even you, Mr. Mayor, I don't remember, but some have asked why Jane and I, along with our law firm, Simmons Hanley Conroy, chose to support this monument in Grafton when we are very, very active in Alton. And the answer lies with something I learned while I was in the military, and that is that we don't compete, we complement each other. You know, when the Navy wins a successful engagement, America wins. When the Army is successful in battle, America wins. When our Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guard brothers and sisters accomplish their mission, our nation's stronger. So the branches of our military don't compete, they complement. And they complement in great service of great purpose. And the same is true of Grafton and Alton, ultimately our entire St. Louis region. When Grafton prospers, Alton benefits. And when Alton thrives, Grafton is stronger. So together, like our armed forces, when our communities can selflessly graft together their own unique strengths and character commitment, everyone wins, locally and regionally. So this memorial holds deep meaning for me, personally and professionally. Personally, it honors my father and many, many uncles who served in World War II. Professionally, it pays tribute to the veterans who work alongside me every day at our law firm, helping those injured through no fault of their own, and it recognizes our clients past, present, and future, many of whom have made similar sacrifices in service to our nation. It also invites fellow citizens from everywhere, literally in the world, to see for themselves what is possible when people from all walks of life choose to unite and fight and sacrifice for what's right. I'm grateful to my law partners and the entire staff at Simmons Hanley Conroy. Together we built a practice representing cancer victims who were wrongfully exposed to asbestos. Not all of our veterans could be here tonight, but if you're here, could you raise your hand or say hello? Okay, I see some hands. Thank you, thank you. You know, when people thank me for my service, I usually respond. Does anybody know how I respond?
Thank you for paying your taxes.
Yeah, that's what I say. I always say, thank you for paying your taxes. And it might sound funny, but I mean it sincerely. Because without the GI Bill, I probably wouldn't have gone to SIU. Without SIU, I probably wouldn't have gone to law school. So it's all the citizens that helped create me. So if you don't like me, blame yourself. No, I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. But so when I say thank you for paying your taxes and your bridge builders, thank you to all those past and present who do their part every day to make and keep our country great. I'm grateful for the law firm I founded is helping bring the National Memorial of Military Ascent to fruition. But like everything meaningful in my life, it's a team effort. It just so happens the captain of our team is a colonel. So that tells you something, but we're so far advanced, we don't have a captain, we have a colonel. So anyway, it was his remarkable vision for this memorial which brings us all here tonight. And like any great team, there are many, many others that make this memorial possible, and some even living in France. So they've all helped bring this project to this point. So tonight, we're assembled here together to discuss this memorial, and we are seeking funding to fully complete and operate these facilities. This memorial commemorates a point in time, the point at Pointe du Hoc, during the successful invasion of France, Omaha Beach, during D-Day in 1944. This memorial will serve as a reminder of the bravery, fortitude, and selflessness of the Army Rangers from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. They scaled 100-foot cliffs under intense enemy fire and to pave the way for others to achieve their objectives. But beyond the individual and collective acts of bravery and determination, Pointe du Hoc represents something larger, the ascent of democracy over tyranny. It is a perpetual reminder that positive progress and ultimately victory is never achieved alone. It's a byproduct of people, in this case ordinary American citizens, many from the Midwest, working together to pave pathways for a better tomorrow. And that's just what we're trying to do here tonight. So please remember, together we're not just building a memorial, we're creating a place where our grandchildren can learn about sacrifice, service, and the power of unity. A place where we can understand how ordinary Americans can come together to accomplish extraordinary things. A place where the spirit of American resilience will inspire many generations. Please come along with us and help bring this amazing memorial to completion. With our donation, we're over halfway there. There will be 12 bronze, and you can see on Sam's mock-up that he did, the student who did it. You're 13, right, Sam? Yes. Well, that's pretty amazing. Keep it up. If you haven't had a chance to talk to Sam, you should. He's an amazing young man. But in this memorial, there'll be 12 bronze statues replicating the Rangers that are ascending these cliffs. Real similar. And the mayor and I measured these cliffs in Grafton, and they're, within feet of the height that they actually did. So it's exact. It's going to be perfect. So I just want to tell a little bit about the background of these monument things real quick, because a bronze statue is not cheap. So we were trying to figure out, okay, well, we don't need to break the bank on some statues, replicating fellas climbing. So we thought, well, we'll use the latest technology in this effort. So we had some rangers come to the site, and they were scanned like from every angle. Each one took how long?
It took about half a day.
It took about half a day for each ranger to be scanned in. Like, I mean, they did it from every possible angle, and it's unbelievable. Anyway, so then from those scanning images went to Portland, Oregon, and what Portland did was 3D printed these statues. And then from Portland, they're going to North Carolina, to the Carolina Bronze. Carolina Bronze is the name of the outfit. It looks like a steel shop to me, Dave. I don't know. I've seen some foundries like that in granite. So anyway, but that's where they're going to make them bronze. And so we did this as cheap as we possibly could figure out. Anybody that gave us any opinions or advice on how to cut costs, we tried to do that with keeping the quality there. But each of these statues still, even with our efforts, costs about $250,000. And there's going to be 12 of them. So if we could have some help, that would be tremendous, because that's not chump change, as they say. So if we could have some of those sponsored, even each individual statue or whatever, please talk to the mayor about how that could go about. There's also several other specific remaining items for sponsorship, including a brick program thing we're doing that we have information on, or you can feel free to talk to the mayor about. But anyway, that's about it for me, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you all for being here. We hope you're generous. We hope you like this project. I know I love it. And Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for John and Simmons. Well, one of the things you picked up from John was that he's a combat engineer, I'm a combat engineer, and we are both co-chairs for this project. And the motto of the combat engineers in the 65th Combat Engineers 25th Infantry Division was first in, last out. So we lead the way. So John is leading the way with this, with his donation tonight, the firm's donation, and now it's up to the rest of us to carry this over the line. So as he mentioned, there's a lot of different opportunities. The statues are being poured as we speak. Well, not tonight, but in the daytime. And they've already finished up the radio, which is an actual World War II radio. They got their 3D printer and poured the bronze and everything, and it looks gorgeous. The Radio Man is going to be the first statue that they finish, and it's going to come to Illinois, to our museum, so we can use that in further fundraising, and that should be somewhere down the road. We are on track, if funding is complete, like John said, to have these statues installed in the fall of 2025. That's next year, folks. We're on track to start construction in June of this coming year. And we're on track to have the entire dedication 6/6/26. That will be the 100-year anniversary of the Great River Road project that they got for Route 66 and a lot of other things that are happening in that area. So please, you're here tonight. I know a lot of you have brought checks to donate and so forth. The Rangers that you see standing around over here, they are from the 2nd Ranger Battalion in St. Louis. They are reenactors. And I met with their secretary of the group, who's Master Sergeant retired John Petrozinski, and I met his wife, and found out that what they do is they teach and replicate the living history of Pointe du Hoc. So they came to us, and I met John, and we formed a partnership, and they are now the official ranger group of this project. They come out every June, and we have other projects come in. So tonight, they'll be coming around the room, see a ranger. We'll have envelopes out there that you can put your donations in or your pledges and so forth and give them to them. If you have any other questions for me or anybody else, please feel free. Thank you for coming tonight, and enjoy yourselves. And let's give the cafe and the chef, where's the chef? Come on out here. Chef Lasher Lawrenson, food is love, prepared and helped the cafe to do this. And Chef, would you please say a few quick words?
You know, the best thing I can say is food is love, and just keep sharing the love with this project. That's what we're trying to do. And I got thrown under the bus. I said I will cook on that event when we are ready to go in Alton.
6/6/26.
6/6/26. So if you want to enjoy some more of this good food, and if I can, I'm going to talk my good friend Tony Piatoso into coming and helping me. Tony, I'm throwing you under the bus.
Wait. Thank you, Tony, and thank you again to the Cafe Napoli for this wonderful event. Tony, thank you so much. God bless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's eat, enjoy the evening. The evening's young. Thank you all for coming.